You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. So my darling, please don't take my sunshine away. Good morning, children, grandkids, and kids, all you young people out there listening. I love to tell stories, and today's story is about a waffle. Today, I'm going to tell you about the first experience I ever had with a waffle. Now, in the previous story, I talked about my dirty mouth being washed out with soap. Well, the same Mrs. Lore that I called a dirty word was the one who brought over a waffle. Now, I'm going to show you what the waffle looked like. It was round and big like that. It had 4 or 5 pieces. And we had never had a waffle in our house before. My mother always made pancakes. And I don't know if you had a waffle or not, but this was special. This waffle has such wonderful flavor because she had slathered it, coated it heavy with butter. In those days, butter really tasted good because all the cows were grass-fed. They weren't corn-fed, and the butter had a much better flavor. And also, during this time, I was about 6 years old. It's 1939. Things are being developed very quickly. Just 20 years earlier, the light bulb became practical, and most people didn't have light bulbs in their house till around 1910. They had gas lamps. They had light gas lamps. They had natural gas, and they had gas lamps. But they were dangerous too. You could have an explosion from gas. But light bulbs became really practical, and they helped us. And today we couldn't get along without light bulbs, could we? You wouldn't even be able to see half the stuff you see because you'd be like the Amish people. They go to bed when it gets dark because all they have are lanterns, kerosene lanterns. They don't even have the gas lights. So some of them might have gas lights. They have a gas wall on their property. But the 20s and 30s in our country were a time of discovery, and the radio was developed in the early 20s, and of course TV didn't come out until 1946 or 47, and it wasn't practical about 1950. So that's the first taste I had. Mom took the waffle in the house. I told her, Mrs. Lore's here with a waffle, and my mother thanked her for it and took it up and cut it in pieces so we could all have some. At that time we only had 5 children because my youngest brother hadn't been born yet. He was born in 1941. And of course my youngest sister was only a year old, so she probably didn't get any either. You don't feed a 1-year-old waffles. So we probably split it between, she might have saved a piece for my dad so he could taste it too. But guess what? That's the first taste of waffle I had. I didn't have another taste until I was 25 years old. There were no Waffle House restaurants. There were no international waffle houses around. There were hardly any restaurants around. I ate my first meal in a restaurant when I was 18 years old. People didn't go out to eat. They couldn't afford it unless you were wealthy. And there weren't many restaurants anyway. No fast food. There were none of the fast food companies. Just old, solid restaurants, and they were expensive. So, I'll tell you what. When I got married, I was 25 years old. We got a waffle iron like this as a gift from my wife's brother, Uncle Dave. He gave us our first waffle iron, and we had that for 35 years. It finally wore out. We got another one, and it wore out. We've been married now 62 years. So anyway, I bought a new one last year, a small one. It's a round one. It's hard to find the kind that aren't Belgian waffles. This is the old-fashioned waffle. I like those with the small holes in them. So waffles are very, very tasty, and we make them now. My younger son was home. Willie, he would bring home 5 or 6 kids from church, and they would spend the night with us Saturday night and Sunday morning. Whenever he brought them back, we made waffles with a special batter using cornmeal, and they just love it. And everybody still loves that recipe. We still have it, and we use it all the time. We have company because they love the flavor of cornmeal waffles. And you put maple syrup on them, and you put fruit like strawberries, blueberries. You can put anything you want on them, but we love strawberries and blueberries most of all on our waffles. And even bananas are good too. So I hope if you haven't had a waffle, you ask your mom to make some if she has a waffle iron. If she doesn't, maybe your dad will buy one, and you can have waffles in your home. They're really tasty and very good. Now, I wanted to tell you also that when you listen to my stories, I hope you realize I'm telling you things that were different. I'm 87 years old, and when I was born, we had a different life. We had, as I go through, I'm explaining things, how things have changed since I was a little boy, and since you folks are young people, young kids, okay? It's been a lot of changes, and it's hard for us old folks to believe how much life has changed. But I hope you enjoy the story about the first waffle taste I ever had, and that taste stuck in my mind from the time I was 6 until I was 25. I had that waffle, that first waffle iron we got for a wedding gift. Well, I hope you like this story about waffles, and if you haven't had a waffle, I hope you try one. If not at home, go out to a restaurant and have a waffle. I hope you enjoy it. Remember, tell your friends about Charlie, Papa Charlie the storyteller, and so they can watch too and learn about how things were years and years ago. And I think they'll enjoy it. And if you like my stories, give me a like. And I want to tell you this, that if you learn to help your mom around the house and dad when they do things, you will be so blessed. So don't sit around and watch your mom and dad work. Say, hey mom and dad, can I help you do that? And they'll love you for it, and you'll be happier and you'll feel good about being helpful. Thank you so much now, and remember, the Lord bless you real good, and until next time, I'll say goodbye.